like, I can hear the dog. All right. Good morning, everybody. We are here for the Marion County Board of Commissioners Weekly Board Session. It's Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. It's 9 a.m. and we're in the Senator Hearing Room at 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem. And we start with the Pledge of Allegiance every week. So if you'd stand, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. All right, we have one individual signed up for public comment. I'm going to go with Matt because I cannot read your last name. Sir, would you please come to this microphone over here?
Over there?
Yes, sir. And introduce you. Yeah, go ahead and sit down in that black chair. Speak directly into the microphone, and for the record, please share your name and address with us.
Matt Selesky.
Oh, no, sorry. Sit in that black chair.
Oh, in that black chair.
And you got to talk into the
In
microphone.
the black chair. There you go. And the microphone really close. Microphone. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, Matt Selesky, 4425 Katrina Court Northeast in Salem,
Okay.
zip code 97305. And do you need my phone number or anything?
No,
All right,
otherwise people
okay.
will call you.
All right, well, I
So-
thought you'd call me, make a date. No, never mind. The reason I'm here is because there's, just past Saturday, I had a neighbor behind me that have a band. The
Okay.
speakers were this high off the ground, and they were blaring starting at 5:15 and went to 8:30 at night. And my wife has dementia. The music was so loud that it shook my front window. Just rattling. My dogs wouldn't go outside because they were scared to death. My neighbors to my left, same situation they had. My whole cult, the guy behind me, the cul-de-sac, I'm right here. Everybody in my cul-de-sac heard the noise. And I have one of my neighbors, the Polk County Sheriff, and he came by and he said he went from Hayesville down to our area. He could hear the noise on Hayesville. So it was extremely loud. Extremely loud. And my neighbor, I feel real bad, Ron next door to me, his wife just passed 6 days prior to this. And they were married for 62 years, and he couldn't rest. He just lost his sweetheart of 62 years. And he told me yesterday that his whole house was rattling. And I called the Marion County Sheriff, and my neighbor across the street behind my cul-de-sac, they have a preschooler. They couldn't lay the kid down at night, and they couldn't go to sleep because the noise was so intense. And I called the Marion County Sheriff, and they told me 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, everything's 10 o'clock, and I understand that. I've been a party animal myself, but when you have a band with speakers that are 6 feet tall, three-piece band playing blaring music, and I went and talked to my neighbor behind. I went to the fence and went like that to him with my ears and say, too loud, and he went, and just, that's it.
You said you did call the sheriff's office.
I did call the
somebody come
sheriff,
out
and they told me
visit
not
with
till
you?
10 o'clock. 10 o'clock.
Did one of our patrol deputies come and visit you?
No.
Okay. Well, there is plenty of them in this room today, and one of them will see you before you leave, I'm sure of it. The undersheriff's on the back wall. Is the sheriff in here? He's hiding.
He's hiding.
He's going to wave at you. See that guy that just leaned over?
Yeah.
So,
Commander.
I saw the commander, but he's busy. So the sheriff and you will have a conversation today.
Beautiful. Because, it's just my whole neighborhood was like this. It's have a good time. I understand that. I'm not trying to just put blanket on anybody. But when it disturbs my whole neighborhood, and I'm the spokesperson. They all came to me yesterday and the day before, got to go to Marion County and complain about this because it's not right. When you have a three-piece band behind you blaring with speakers that are just rattling my house, my whole house, my neighbor's house, my other neighbor's house. People can't put their animals out. They're scared to death, and we know animals' ears are more sensitive than ours. And his neighbor to the side, and it was all the way from Hayesville all the way down to my house, and I'm 3 blocks down.
Yeah, I'm sorry that happened. We definitely want to encourage healthy livability in our communities for everybody to live the way that they think they should live. but we don't want it to be disruptive. There are rules and ordinances that we have in the county that can be enforced, and there are kind of bookends to what that looks like, and there might be other measures you have to take, but I'm not an expert on that.
Yeah.
I know the sheriff is.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you coming down here today, and I'm sorry that you're experiencing
Well,
this.
ma'am, it's just it was too much. It was absolutely
Agreed.
too much. And it went to 8:30 at night, and then he kept playing more with little speakers from his party, and he was drinking beer, getting all drunk up and everything, but it wasn't right. And that disturbed everybody in the whole neighborhood, all around behind him, in front of him, up till Hayesville. That's how loud it was. That's not right. And when I called the sheriff, said 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. So what do you do?
Well, today you're going to talk to the sheriff himself, so there's that. Thank you for coming down.
My
We hope that
pleasure.
we can
Thank you
solve
for
the problem
listening.
with you.
Thank you for
Yeah,
listening.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
There was somebody else signed up. Heath?
I accidentally.
Oh, just kidding. All right. Well, it's nice to see you, Heath.
You can come, you
This is probably a little bit later on the agenda, I would suspect. Okay, great. So we're going to move into first of our 4 proclamations this morning. The first one, Carol Hurd is going to come up, and we're going to talk about designating the week of May 6th through the 12th as Nurses Week in Marion County. And your entourage. So for the record, when you all talk, make sure you talk into the microphone. If you can't hear yourself, then we can't hear you either.
I already gave them advance notice.
Okay. She was really trying to avoid not sitting in front of us, I think, is what was happening.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Let's see. For the record, Carol Hurd, Addiction Treatment Services Division Director with Marion County Health and Human Services. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let's
It's
see.
on, so just, project into it.
Like this?
Yes, ma'am. Now we're going to make you sing. Are you ready?
No. I am honored to be here today seeking approval for the proclamation recognizing May 6th through 12th as May 6th through 12th, 2025 as Nurses Week in Marion County. This annual celebration gives us a chance to express our gratitude for the extraordinary contributions of nurses both nationally and right here in our own community. National Nurses Week was first celebrated in 1954 and has been recognized annually since 1974, which concludes each year on May 12th, the birthday of Florence Nightingale. This year's American Nurses Association's theme, The Power of Nurses, highlights the unmatched impact that nurses have across every corner of the healthcare system. While this proclamation honors all nurses, I want to take a moment to specifically highlight the nurses serving within Marion County and Health and Human Services. These dedicated professionals work across public health, behavioral health, and substance use disorder treatment programs, bringing compassionate care and clinical expertise to some of the most vulnerable populations in our county. Our public health nurses are instrumental in delivering vaccines, responding to disease outbreaks, supporting maternal and child health, and leading prevention efforts that keep our entire community safer and healthier. Our behavioral health nurses provide essential care, mental health and crisis services, as well as substance use disorder treatment programs. They not only administer medical support, but they also offer safety, dignity, and hope for individuals in their most difficult moments. Nurses often do their work quietly, not expecting recognition, but they certainly deserve it. Their efforts make a difference in the lives of individuals and the health of our entire community. This proclamation is one way we can come together as a county and say, we see you, we appreciate you, and we thank you. I would like to take this opportunity to celebrate the power of nurses and honor those who serve tirelessly and compassionately in our health and human services programs. We are fortunate to be joined by several of our exceptional nurses who will share an overview of the services they provide. Please join me in welcoming Heath Barker, Nurse Program Manager for Behavioral Health and Addiction Treatment Services, Dina Young, a nurse with our Addiction Treatment Services program, Julie Menton, one of our home visiting nurses with the Early Childhood Nursing program, Madison Spellman with our Public Health Clinic, and Deborah Harris also with our Public Health Clinic.
Hello, Commissioners.
Good morning.
My name is Heath Barker. I'm a registered nurse. I'm newly appointed program manager at the Adult Behavioral Health on Silverton Road. I just want to express my gratitude for being able to serve the community and express how important the services are that we provide. Just to see a dramatic difference in many patients' outcomes after receiving our services at the facility. We are fortunate enough to work with a fantastic group of nurse practitioners and doctors and nurses. All staff are very much committed to the positive outcomes of our community, and we just hope we can continue to serve the community. Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Welcome to the team.
Thanks.
Who's next?
All right, that would be me. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having us here to celebrate Proclamation Week. My name is Dina Young. I am an addiction services nurse. I've been working in addiction treatment services here at Marion County since 2018. The MAP program in Marion County has been operational since the late 1980s, so it's a very well-established program. Our services are available to any community member in need, and we currently serve approximately 150 clients that are from 18 years old and up for opiate use disorders. We administer medication to our clients to assist in addiction treatment, along with providing medical support and care to our clients. We administer methadone and buprenorphine. These are medications that are taken daily for our clientele that do have opiate use disorders. We also provide outpatient services, mentoring, including the Prime Plus program, which is a program where we have mentors respond to any overdose situation at the hospital. They respond and let the clients know what options are available for them if they do seek treatment or need any sort of help. We do court advocacy, we do mental health referrals, parent-child reunification. We have rural and bilingual services, and we also do DUI services, along with working with SOAR, which, for those that don't know, that's Student Opportunities for Achieving Results, as well as working with His Place and Her Place, which are housing for pregnant women and mothers with children and parenting fathers with children.
And eventually our place, once we can get through some permit issues.
Yes, we're working
Come on, Salem.
That's right, we're working on getting that opened up, so we're really excited about that. We work closely with our counselors and our medical director to provide customizable addiction and recovery services for the success of each individual. We collaborate with clinical and administrative staff, as well with community partners. We offer education on addiction, as well as other related topics of interest to our clients. And we work closely with Salem Health in the neonatal opioid withdrawal services program. Our main goal in the dispensary is to walk alongside those seeking their beginning to the recovery journey and a healthier future. And if I can answer any questions, feel free to ask or contact us at our Silverton Road location. Information is also on the intranet and internet. So thank you again for having us.
Thanks for being here. Julie, we'd love for you to speak up. I know, I'm sorry.
I work in the early childhood nursing program as a home visiting nurse. I serve some of the most vulnerable members of our community through the Babies First and Cocoon programs. We provide home visits to pregnant moms and babies up to 5 years and Babies First, and up to 21 years for children and youth with a medical diagnosis or special needs. We currently have 3 nurses working in the program and serve about 50 families each. Our home visits help families reduce barriers and provide support to connect with needed health care, community services to help support housing and get access to food, among many other programs. We also help parents learn about positive parenting and how to support their child's development. Thank you for giving us all the opportunity to talk about our programs this morning.
for what you do.
Good morning. This works? Okay. I'm Madison Spellman. I'm one of Marion County's newer public health nurses, working in the clinic with Deborah. And most of my work has been focused on vaccinating children and immigrants coming to our community, and then also providing STI services, so screening, treatment, education, as well as educating families about just the importance of vaccines and keeping their children safe. And then on top of that, we're also pretty good at connecting our patients with resources in the community, especially some of our lower income patients. So yeah, we do a lot of work with that. Thank you.
Welcome to our team. Thank you.
Thank you for having us this morning. I'm Deborah Harris, and my main focus is as the tuberculosis case manager. So I, along with our team, provide tuberculosis medication every day. Tuberculosis medication has to be given in an observed way. So we have a team of great public health workers that go out into the community, and we also have patients who provide that they have taken their medication over video, which we have to review every day. And I also assist with vaccinating children, and had a person this week who is being treated for tuberculosis, and I gave vaccines too. So I was here last year when I was new, and now I've been with Marion County for a year and 3 months, and have found it to be really rewarding and a really great environment to be in, and would like to echo what Keith said about the people on the team being really dedicated and here because they care, and it's a great thing to be part of. So thank you very much.
Thanks for coming back. We didn't scare you away. Commissioners, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Just my annual conflict of interest notice. My wife's a nurse, my mom's a nurse, my brother-in-law's a nurse.
He chose not to be a nurse, clearly.
I think all my children are going to be nurses, so I'm very biased in this.
No, I'm not a nurse. No, thank you for what you do. And I know we're going to hear from not only you, but from some other nurses that work in Marion County today. And I don't even think that the public realizes, when you talk about tuberculosis, that the things that we do to keep the general public safe and healthy, so in our health department. So thank you. We talk about public safety all the time, and there's a bunch of uniforms back there that, you know, usually kind of show up when you talk about public safety, but what you do is also public safety and health. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, commissioners.
Honor.
Great.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve a proclamation designating the week of May 6th through 12th, 2025 as Nurses Week in Marion County.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes. Commissioner Willis.
In the matter of proclaiming the week of May 6th through 12th, 2025 as Nurses Week in Marion County, a proclamation. This matter came before the Marion County Board of Commissioners as regularly scheduled public meeting on Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. Whereas National Nurses Week was first observed in 1954, commemorating Florence Nightingale's mission to Crimea. In 1974, the White House officially recognized a week in February to honor nurses, with President Nixon issuing a proclamation. And whereas National Nurses Week was permanently designated by the American Nurses Association in 1993 to be celebrated annually beginning in 1994 from May 6th through May 12th, Florence Nightingale's birthday, in recognition of the historical and ongoing contributions of nurses. Their theme this year, the power of nurses. And
whereas nurses serve in a wide range of settings, including hospitals, clinics, schools, long-term care facilities, public health, behavioral health settings, correctional institutions, and community-based programs, where their expertise, dedication, and resilience make a life-saving difference every day. And whereas today there are approximately 4.7 million registered nurses in the United States, actively engaged across all areas of healthcare, nurses play a critical role in delivering care, evolving healthcare systems both locally and nationally, and improving the overall health of the nation. And
whereas the demand for nurses has never been greater due to the increasing complexity of healthcare challenges, the continuous advancement of life-sustaining technologies, and the aging of the American population. And whereas, for the above reasons, we invite the citizens of Marion County to join us in celebrating May 6th through the 12th, 2025, as Nurses Week in Marion County, a time to recognize and honor the compassion, dedication, and tireless efforts of nurses who care for our community every day. Under the theme, The Power of Nurses, we encourage everyone to celebrate the meaningful impact nurses have on our health and well-being, taking this opportunity to show our appreciation for all that they do. Now, therefore, it is hereby proclaimed that the week of May 6th through the 12th, 2025, is Nurses Week in Marion County, dated at Salem, Oregon, the 7th day of May, 2025. And now you all get to come up for a photo. And Ryan and Katrina, since you're in the audience. Oh. Yeah.
I know, this is super fun. Turn it. Okay.
Oh, okay. You guys are really lopsided. We need to scoot over one way or the other?
Squeeze in.
Okay.
You guys ready? 3, no.
2.
Wait, Mr. Cameron's not ready.
Oh, I'm never ready.
3, 2, 1. Thank you.
I'm the opposite
Hold
of the
on.
battery.
Wait, we got one more.
I have to do one too.
Oh, never ready, never ready.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. Almost, yeah. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the team. Thank you very much. Yes. Well, you're ready.
We'll see what happens.
That's fair. Like, she's like, come on, lady, get it going.
Technology's constantly out to get me.
I know. Sorry. I know everybody's excited to go out front and draw with chalk, right? Okay. We are going to now do the proclamation of designating the month of May 2025 as Mental Health Awareness Month. And Phil is not with you. Why is that?
We have a bunch of students, so
Okay.
give my time.
All right. Go for it.
All right, well, good morning, commissioners, and everyone in the room. My name is Laura Sprouse. I'm the Zero Suicide Program Coordinator for Marion County Health and Human Services, and here with Kelly.
Hi, good morning. My name is Kelly Martin. I am the coordinator for our mental health promotion suicide prevention program for Marion County Health and Human Services. And we're here to talk about the proclamation and some of the events that we're doing in May.
We've brought this proclamation before you in years past for many years now. And this year we're really thrilled to, as part of our theme of Choose Community, to bring some of our community with us to share about what's going on around Marion County. So just as a quick overview of the landscape of mental health in Marion County, we're really fortunate that we get to have data from the Marion Polk Community Health Assessment that was recently finished. And a few of the kind of highlights that we wanted to point out that really spoke to us in regards to connection, loneliness, the need for community. 42% of adults who responded to the community health assessment questionnaire reported having poor mental health in the last month. 1 in 4 adults in Marion County have been diagnosed with depression, and that's only speaking to folks who have had a formal diagnosis, not those that may also be struggling but haven't been diagnosed. And roughly 30 to 38% of 11th graders experienced depression symptoms in the last year. So we're seeing some pretty substantial needs around mental health in our community. But we want to share about some of the things that we're doing to support the mental health of our community now. I'm going to turn it back to Kelly.
Awesome. So for the past several months, we've been looking at how important connection is in not only our mental health, but our physical health. About about 1 in 3 adults feel lonely at least once a week, and that affects not only just how we're feeling, but it can actually increase our physical health challenges such as heart disease, dementia, of course, anxiety and depression as well. So we've been working on these Power of Social Connection events. We've had 2 events so far. We have a guest speaker, Nirmala Dar, who's very passionate and very great at connecting with folks, talking about loneliness and connection, really going over a good overview of what the challenges are, and then giving some solutions. We've been at the Silverton Senior Center. We worked with the Senior Center in Monmouth. And then also we have an event coming up this May 29th at the Center 50 Plus. So everybody's invited to join us at these free events. It's a very great connection activity as well.
And one of the great things is that people have made connections by attending these events, and new friendships have been built. And some people have been identified as kind of ambassadors to build connections. So that's some really positive things that have come out of this.
And then, as you see, a lot of us are wearing green today, as green is the color to honor mental health. And so on May 15th, it's Mental Health Action Day. And for the second year in a row, we're going to be inviting people to join us and representing mental health and wearing green on this day. This is a photo of last year. We started off with just our Health and Human Services building, and these are all of our teams that were involved in wearing green. I think it was a great turnout. People were really excited about it. Even if they forgot to wear green, they would just like bring a green piece of paper because they wanted to just be part of this, because they feel that. I think it's just a symbolism of how important this is to everybody, how mental health can touch each of us. So we're also reaching out to some of our schools and community partners to participate, and you're going to hear a little bit more about that in just a moment.
But we're spreading this across all of Marion County this year, so encouraging all Marion County employees to wear green on Thursday, May 15th. We also have historically offered Question, Persuade, Refer suicide prevention training throughout the year, but we're hosting a few extra trainings in May for Marion County staff throughout the month. Last week we were able to host our first training in Spanish for Marion County staff to better support those that are serving our individuals with bilingual services, to give them just some more language and tools to use when they're communicating with those folks in their language of choice. And we hope to provide more of those, maybe do those twice a year. We'll also be offering some trainings to some of our IDD foster home providers, as they've recognized that recognizing mental health challenges and suicide needs in their individuals that are living in their homes is something that they need more skills around. And we have a lot of providers throughout the community, other trainers that are providing trainings throughout the community. I know that, excuse me, Salem Health, the Community Health Education Center, is offering a few this month.
And we're also working with San Diego Hospital to offer some, as well as the school districts are doing as well. So there's a lot of our community partners are offering these at their organizations.
Yeah, and this is just a really great base level training for how to talk to someone about their risk of suicide and support them in getting the help they need. But it also goes further, just to talking to someone who might be in the midst of an emotional crisis or just struggling in general and needs some support to get to the resources that they need. And you may have seen these already. I know I saw a couple out in the lobby already, but we are also bringing back the Signs of Hope for the month of May. So this is a project that was started by Don't Give Up Signs out of Newburgh, and we have co-opted it as our own for the past few years, updating the signs with our logos and with information about 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. We have over 70 community partners participating through Marion and Polk counties this year, including a lot of businesses in Kaiser, because Kelly's been really working with a lot of folks in Kaiser to get information out about that. But we encourage folks, if you see these signs out in the community, or if you have one and want to take a picture in front of your workplace, where you find community, we encourage you to send those pictures to the email address that's there, or tag our social media, Marion County Health and Human Services, to be featured on our social media pages. Really just want to show the community that we're sharing a message of hope constantly. And we're also doing some sign holding events with at each of our Health and Human Services offices throughout the month. So yesterday we had our first event in Woodburn where there were 6 of us that went out on the sidewalk on 99E and waved at cars as they drove by. And once people realized we weren't protesting anything, you could kind of see their faces soften, and we got a lot of smiles and thumbs up and honks. So just simple things like that could really turn someone's day around. And so we're excited to continue that with our other locations throughout the month.
And so now for the fun part, the guest speakers. So as Laura mentioned, we're really choosing community and that connection, and we wanted to share some of the things that we've been doing with our community partners. We're going to introduce, I'll let you go ahead and introduce.
So we wanted to share a couple of the opportunities that we've had to
sit gently in that chair, please.
We wanted to share about a couple of the partnerships that we've built within the past few years, and one of which is with our sheriff's office, and in particular with Derek Heyman. I'll let him introduce himself in a moment, but we're just going to talk about our cooperation with QPR.
Hi, Derek Heyman with Marion County Sheriff's Office. Thanks for having us. Just talking about the collaboration that we have with Health and Human Services. We've been collaborating with them for a number of years through our crisis intervention trainings, and the relationship continues to get better with each and every collaboration and training that we do. We brought them in to do a QPR training at an in-service, and they trained 162 of our employees in 1 week. So the collaboration and partnership continues to get better and grow stronger, and we appreciate everything that they do.
We appreciate what you do.
And it's been really great because we've also had an opportunity to, yeah, you're fine.
Well done.
It's been great as well with those trainings with the crisis intervention teams and also with the sheriff's office to talk about the stigma that exists within law enforcement as well around mental health and seeking mental health support. And so we've been able to speak into that a little bit. We've also opened up some of our more intensive suicide prevention trainings that we provide to our Health and Human Services staff when we've had seats available to the sheriff's office to allow some of their staff to come and get some additional training so that they can best support the individuals that they are serving as well.
You may recall last year we worked during May with some of our schools providing some sensory kits to our youth. And those are just kits that help people to, when they're feeling stressed and anxious, to really calm their nervous system, be able to regulate a little bit. And we worked with Cammie Brock from Claggett, and she's brought some students here to share with their Sources of Strength program and share about how the kits worked and also some of the other ways that we're collaborating with them this year. So I'll turn it over to Cammie.
Awesome. Thank you for having us. My name is Cammie Brock. I'm a school social worker with Claggett Creek Middle School. Also former Marion County employee, just so you all know.
We're not mad. You went to a great community. You stayed in
It's
the county.
about
You're working
connection
with
and
kids.
community. I think that helps the connection here.
Yeah, good job.
All right, so I'm also the adult leader for our Sources of Strength program. Our Sources of Strength is a suicide prevention program that's statewide. We help students discover their strengths in different aspects of their life. So we have a big wheel that Source of Strength works off of. Mental health is one of those, along with physical health and generosity, just different areas, social connections that are things that you want to build up the strengths on so that it helps. It's like that early intervention for suicide prevention. So the more strengths you have, the less likely we are to go down that path. Let's see here. Last year, we were supported by Marion County during our Mental Health Awareness Month with some sensory kits, which were fantastic. We had a spirit week within our school where we handed some of those out to students. With the extra kits, actually, our counseling team has been utilizing those as needed. So they've been really great when kids come to us and they're having some really big emotions. And we can pull out those kits, and it has some different ideas on there, such as using their senses, as well as some fidgets and tools. As you know, middle schoolers love tangible things. So it's really great to be able to have something that they can put their hands on and say, oh, okay, I get how this works. So it's a really great jumping off point. So we're thankful for Marion County for providing those to us. Next, I'd like to introduce some of our peer leaders who are in our Sources of Strength Club. We meet every Tuesday morning from 8 to 9, and we've done a lot of work this year, building off of what we started last year. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Be sure to talk right into the microphone like you're going to sing.
Hi, my name is Dylan Christensen, and I'm a 6th grade student and peer leader with Sources of Strength at Clyde Creek Middle School. This fall, our club decided to build strength around generosity and organized a jacket and hygiene drive that benefited Taylor's Health Youth Shelter. Our goal was to encourage staff and students to donate for kids in need. We raised around a car full and showed that even though we didn't know these kids, our school was able to empathize with them and highlight our generosity.
Can you tell us your name again?
Dylan Christensen.
Nice to meet you, Dylan.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Hi. I know it's nerve-wracking. Just look at the three
No,
of us.
she's-
Who cares about the rest of them?
She's not nervous at all. Look at her. She's smiling.
Amazing.
Look at that
No,
smile.
she's like, I got through that speech. Well done. And your name is Dylan. That's all that really
All I
matters
see
here.
is the
Good
smile.
job. Yeah.
Good job.
Who's next?
My name is Jessica Rodriguez. I'm a 7th grader at Clyde Creek and creator for Sources of Strength. I will be talking about our assembly that we hosted. Our goal was to build connections with others and make positive friends. In order to achieve this, we organized minute-to-minute games. I think our assembly was a success because everyone worked together really well, even if they've never interacted before. So I think in the end, everybody enjoyed it, and I think we achieved our goal.
I think next time we should make Marion County Sheriff's Office come in and do a minute to win it with all of you during your pep assembly. I'm just saying, they are very competitive, and I'm certain you all will win. Wilkinson in the back is shaking his head yes, amen for the record. So, oh yeah. Go ahead.
My name is Uretzi Sotelo, and I am a peer Sources of Strength leader in the 8th grade at Claggett Creek Middle School. Last week, our Sources of Strength Club were given the opportunity to speak with Kelly regarding posting signs of hope around our school. Yesterday, we worked as a group and placed signs around our campus. We are planning on promoting Be Seen in Green school-wide in support of Mental Health Awareness Month.
Good job. Thanks for being here.
My name is Serenity.
You can move it down, honey. There you go. Yep.
My name is Serenity Roberts. I am a 6th grade peer leader at Claggett Creek Middle School. Our Sources of Strength Club will be collaborating with McNary High's Sources of Strength Club next week to brainstorm possible opportunities for next year that involve our community.
Good job. So aside from your speeches, is there anything that you want the world to know about what you're doing in this program and maybe why it's important to you or why you're participating? And it doesn't have to go in, just jump in.
I think mental health is really important, especially for young kids, because they could act like they're totally fine, but inside they're not, and you'll never really know it, and they'll just develop feelings that they can't get through on their own, and they'll need help.
That's right.
I agree with Serenity because I know middle school can be really hard time for a lot of kids. I think like what we're doing is helping students like ask for resources and ask for help.
It is.
I think that like mental health is really important, especially for like little kids, because very often they're told that like they like shouldn't or can't feel these high emotions at such a young age. But I think like most kids, like all they have is emotion, and so like it's very much a buildup, especially in like middle school when they're like jumping into like harder things and harder education. I think it's really important that they have like a mindset where like they can get help if they need it.
Are you an older sibling? Do you have,
I'm the
little-
youngest.
You're the youngest?
Yeah.
Well, are you going to be a teacher later in life?
I want to be a lawyer.
Oh, well, there's plenty in this room. I'm no joke. There are several in this room. Like, hire her.
Marion County is a great place to work. So once you get your law degree, you just come give us a call.
He's a lawyer, and he's a lawyer, and there's some lawyers in the back of the room. So there's a couple of students still in the audience. Are they going to come up, or are they just opting out?
They have opted out and are choosing to support us
Okay.
and be our encouraging entourage.
Well, I appreciate all the cheerleaders in the audience that chose not to be on the microphone, and I hope that you'll come up for a photo and at least say hello to us when we get there. Thanks for being here. All right, Kelly, is there?
Thank thank you all so much. That was amazing. Like, I just want to put that on replay. They were just amazing, even more than I was expecting.
You can put it on replay.
I might. I'm
You
just going to
can.
have
Just
it
to
going
put
in
it
my
real.
head. So,
Social media.
we can't really do much after that because that was so fabulous. But just wanted to share a few resources that are available for help if you are struggling with mental health. There is the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline that is available 24/7, has multiple languages, and can call or text because we don't use our phones anymore. We text. So that's an option to do that. And then, of course, our own Marion County Behavioral Health Crisis Center that is can be on the phone or in person. And then
The Oregon Youth Line is an option for our younger folks who are needing support. That line is provided by Lines for Life out of Portland, but is staffed by peers that are under the age of between the ages of like 16 to 25. So it's teens talking to teens, which is really cool, and they receive a lot of like oversight and guidance from adults to do that. Two lines that are relatively new to our area are the Agri-Stress helpline. So this is for folks that work in agriculture, farming, whether they are directly or indirectly involved in that. They can call or text that number there. And then also recently created by Lines for Life as well as the construction care line for folks working in construction and labor industries that's a pretty high risk industry for suicide and mental health concerns and substance use issues. And so we want to make sure that folks know that that is available as well. And then on the theme of loneliness, the senior loneliness line is also available across the state of Oregon.
And then just finally, here's our contact information. If anybody needs to get a hold of us, we're happy to chat with folks.
Thank you both for being here today and for such a great presentation. It is really important. And mostly, while you guys are great, I used to be the Booster Club president at McNary. And for years, students at Whitaker, Claggett, and McNary have tried to work together to do what you're doing right now. I think it's great that you're stepping forward and being leaders in your space to see others. I know it's hard, and maybe you don't really understand all the circumstances that folks mention to you in the hallways, but you're saving someone's life by being here and really investing in your hallways. So thanks for what you're doing. Commissioners?
You said it all.
Great.
Yeah.
Well then, I'd take a motion from Commissioner Gammon.
Madam Chair, I will move that we approve a proclamation designating the month of May 2025 as Mental Health Awareness Month in Marion County.
I second the motion.
A motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. The motion passes.
In a matter of proclaiming the month of May 2025 as Mental Health Awareness Month in Marion County. Proclamation. This matter came before the Marion County Board of Commissioners at its regularly scheduled public meeting on May 7, 2025. Whereas mental health is essential to Marion County residents' overall health and well-being, and whereas good mental health is critical to the well-being of Marion County families, communities, schools, and businesses, and whereas recovery and hope are possible for Marion County residents living with mental illness, and these people and their family members deserve affordable access to treatment and resources. And
whereas people experiencing mental health concerns and/or thoughts of suicide need an understanding, empathetic, and encouraging place of belonging as they seek support. And whereas shame, stigma, and lack of access to treatment actively work against the wellness of individuals and may prevent them from seeking timely and appropriate help. And
whereas education and awareness about mental health conditions decrease stigma and promote a culture of compassion, understanding, and progress. And whereas prevention is an effective way to reduce the adverse personal and community impacts of mental health conditions and promote recovery. And whereas Marion County Health and Human Services encourages Marion County residents to choose community as well as thrive when we create and experience meaningful connections in our lives. Now, therefore, it is hereby proclaimed that the month of May 2025 is Mental Health Awareness Month in Marion County, dated in Salem, Oregon, the 7th day of May 2025. All right, now all the green shirts come forward, please. And just for the record, I did not plan this green shirt. I just happened by it. You gotta scoot in like you like each other. I know. No, scoot in. Yep.
Turn sideways. Turn sideways.
Turn sideways.
There you go. You
Yeah.
scoot in.
And hold your
There.
sign down a little bit. There you go. Okay. All right.
Well-
We're a little wide.
Yeah.
We can
Well, what I'd like to do is actually just angle it, if you all can.
whatever you want, Ron. Just tell us what to do.
That's better. Just be a little bit more so we don't have under that table. Okay. Everybody ready? 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
All right. Nope. One more.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you. Tell me your name.
Most of your camera doesn't click.
It's silent.
You're Betsy. It's nice to meet you. Are you the senior of this group, so it's 8th graders? Yes. Yes? What's your name? Denali?
Yeah.
You know what my name is?
Thank you for being here.
Danielle. It's nice to meet you.
Like you better
Hi,
with you.
how are you? Good. What's your
Are
name?
you the future attorney?
Huh? Yeah. I'm gonna be say it again. I'm gonna go to Stanford. Lucien? Nice
Stanford.
To, yeah, did I get it right?
Stanford Law.
Lucien.
That's a pretty
Nice to meet you.
high bar.
Don't be so shy.
It
Come
is.
back anytime. Good job. Thank you for being here. Hi.
She's part of the Denver Broncos now, on the Lisa Rice.
So now you have to get ready to do it. You're gonna be going where? We actually are doing it this year, so. Good.
They just think.
I
didn't get a JD, but I think.
So they're all, oh, they're gonna hate that.
I don't wanna- I don't wanna have to
It's a real thing.
do that stuff.
I know about this. My whole boardroom, like that. Take your sign for
I remember legal counsel at Vips. Bill, Steve Johnson and Bill Cole, I remember one day we were playing through, he was playing golf. They go, "We didn't know law school."
Okay. All right, now we're going to do our proclamation for designating the week of May 11th through the 17th, 2025 as National Police Week in Marion County. Commander Bernards. Do we need to sign like a you can be out of class slip for you? Just kidding.
They got video
Perfect. Yeah, they got video evidence.
Get this thing rolling here real quick.
I know where that was taken.
Oh, it's working. All right.
It's working.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
For the record, my name is Jason Bernards. I'm the Enforcement Division Commander for the Marion County Sheriff's Office. This morning, I'm before you asking for the board's consideration to proclaim the week of May 15th, Police Week in Marion County. As the board is aware, in 1962, President John F. Kennedy proclaimed the week of May 15th as National Police Week for the United States. I know this board is very aware of the amazing work that our men and women do here at the Marion County Sheriff's Office on a daily basis. I am extremely lucky to be able to serve alongside many of these men and women in a leadership position. But the true matter is that every single person in uniform that you see that works for the Sheriff's Office is a leader in their community. Not only are they a leader in their community when they're at work and on duty, but they're a leader in their community when they're off work. Many of these men and women volunteer their own time for service providers in our community, for nonprofit organizations, and many of them also coach youth sports in their schools. I know that we often talk about the personal sacrifices that our deputies make related to the dangerous job they do. I could go on, but the 12-hour shifts, not knowing if they're going to make it home to their families every night, the missed holidays, the birthdays, missed sporting events for their kids. And I think it's important to recognize the sacrifices that they make. One thing that I do think that we don't talk about enough is the sacrifices that our families make, because they make one just as big as us. You know, fearing that knock on the door at night when your loved one's working, not knowing what that's going to be, not knowing what that message is going to be. So I think it's really important to recognize those family members as well. So, and obviously I'm going to keep this brief. I'm sure the board's very surprised with that. But before I do close, I do want to say that I certainly appreciate the board's commitment to the Sheriff's Office. I appreciate your support. I mean, through the fires, COVID, all the natural disaster, the ice storms,
you guys have shown unwavering support for our office, and I appreciate that. That's all I got.
Is that it?
That's it.
Commissioners? No, you.
I was just thinking how grateful I am to live in a community that supports our law enforcement and where our law enforcement is really representative of the community that we live in. So my kids play soccer on teams that, you know, the other dads are local law enforcement folks. Yeah, I think it's just really, you know, as you mentioned, the last couple of years have been kind of exciting for law enforcement. But I've always felt that this community really values the work that you do, values the courage of the folks who serve us. And I'm just very grateful to live in a place like that.
Yeah, thank you, Commander, for being here, and thank you for all of you that are here and those that are not here. Appreciate everything that you do. This extends even past our department, and I know I read in the news, I think you read it yesterday, I read in the news that some big stuff happened right here in Marion County yesterday that was pretty national. And the cooperation that this department has with other agencies, not only the local agencies that we work with, but also on a national basis, a regional basis, it came to light in news yesterday. And I just want to say thank you, because some of those things that you do, people don't know about, and we don't even know about, which is fine. I don't need to know. But every time I see an officer, I don't care if it's TSA or whoever it is, I always want to thank them for their service, because they're trying to keep us safe. And that's what you do every day. And when I maybe make a mistake and get pinched, that was a long time ago. But I'll never forget, Ethan and I were giving water out, Ethan Griffith and I were giving water out together to people that were standing in line to go see a judge at the at the court when it was opening and 100 degrees out. And that's the kind of service that everybody here in this room does. It's not only the ticket that I got that I deserved. Well, I didn't deserve it, but but it's the service that you give back, and the great things that you do. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I mean, I think the court said you did deserve it, right, Commissioner Cameron?
Well, don't get me going.
I'm going to take the chair's prerogative and talk about that another day.
I should have asked for a trial, because there was evidence that I submitted to the judge, evidence the day I got the ticket and the day I had to send in the ticket, and it was totally different markings.
I think it's good experience for deputies always to have to go to court, so I always take the opportunity to go to trial.
What happened to those motorcycles anyways? Yeah, Griffin was on a motorcycle that day on Lancaster.
Money, sir. They went away with money. So I agree with everything Commissioners Willis and Cameron said, but I also just want to add that, and we've said this, I think, every year since the whole anti-police movement thing started to erupt nationally, somewhere around late 2020, early 2021. What the average person doesn't realize is that you guys show up every day with your own handcuffs that are created by policymakers, and you work every day to try to navigate those bad policies to still provide public safety to the people in front of you, whether that's the person committing the crime, having a mental health breakdown, or the victim that's calling and asking for your help. I can't tell you how frustrating it is to be a member of a community amongst hundreds of officers who show up every day to protect our community, who are restricted by policymakers who have never stepped foot in the shoes that you all wear every day, myself included. And I just want to say thank you to all of you for your service. We have hundreds of officers that work for Marion County, but we have many other agencies that work amongst Marion County to serve collaboratively for public safety, whether that be giving out gifts, as right now on the screen with Santa, or golfing to collect funds for those gifts. There's a dog somewhere in this room. Is he going to come forward at some point just for a picture?
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
Bring the dog forward. Yeah, come on.
Well, the dog's
There's the handler. We saw the back of her on a picture walking through the forest for a moment. Huh? Yeah. I think he came last year, too. Next year, we're going to see a hound dog up here, right? Hey.
We will.
Huh?
We will.
We will, yeah. He's so friendly.
Yeah.
Anyway, I actually really appreciate the display of everybody that's spent your time here for the last hour going through these proclamations, patiently waiting for this proclamation to come forward. And if we could, we would have a parade for you. But I know the sheriff loves parades, so I hope to see all of you in parades this summer. And maybe we'll be able to say thanks additionally there.
It is nice, yeah, because, we approve these contracts, we vote on these budgets, but it's nice to see people that it impacts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you all for being here.
I guess I had a flashback.
It's never good.
I know. I'm going to say it, though. I remember I had to do a ride, I didn't have to, but I did a ride-along, and in fact, he's standing back there on the door with Sergeant Moquin at that time. This is 10 years ago. And the first thing I remember is we were going to serve a warrant, and state police always tell you to stay in the car when you do a ride-along, but sheriffs say, follow me wherever I go unless I tell you to stay in the car. So we're doing this warrant, and I stay in the car, and Moquin goes, get out here, get out here. And he's hiding behind the garage with his hand on his gun, and he's got a vest on. And I go, I don't have a vest. He says, just stay behind me. Right. So later that night, I think we were at Starbucks at Lancaster having coffee, and he looks at me and he says, they told me that you just recently got pinched, so be careful. And I'll never forget that some of those ride-alongs. And then another one who's not here, he's a lieutenant. He said he had to go do this ride-along. I think I was a state representative at the time.
Was it Burnham?
You can name him.
I did.
And he goes,
Burnham.
and he said, I had to take this, I'm not going to use the words because it's bad, politician along for this ride-along. And by the end of the day, realized that, hey, we were just human beings, and just really appreciate what you guys all do. And it's fun to get out there with you for me, right? But it's not fun for you every day. But I really appreciate what you do. And
Your stories made me think of the first time I went on a ride-along with Garrett Olson. He told me about the time that he took former Commissioner Sam Brentano on a ride-along. Does anyone know about this story? Olson ended up on a foot chase with somebody, and Brentano was stuck in the car for like a couple hours while all of you were all somewhere over Jefferson trying to take out some criminal who was detained eventually, but the commissioner did not get out and follow Olson on that particular foot pursuit. And I wish he would have, because that would have definitely made the news.
well, he might not be alive if Sam had run.
Anyway, take a commissioner on a ride-along. Apparently, it's very entertaining.
It can be, that's for sure.
It can be. Yes, thank you, Commander. All right, Commissioner Willis, would you make a motion, please?
I would. Madam Chair, I move that we approve proclamation designating the week of May 11th through 17th as National Police Week in Marion County.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes.
In the matter of proclaiming the week of May 11th through 17th, 2025 as National Police Week in Marion County, a proclamation. This matter came before the Marion County Board of Commissioners at its regularly scheduled public meeting on Wednesday, May 7th, 2025, to proclaim the week of May 11th through the 17th as National Police Week. Whereas the week of May 11th through the 17th, 2025 has been declared National Police Week, and
Whereas members of law enforcement agencies within Marion County play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of our residents. And whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the duties, responsibilities, hazards, and sacrifices of their law enforcement professionals, and that members of our Sheriff's Office recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence and disorder, and by shielding the innocent against deception and weak against oppression. And
whereas the women and men of the Marion County Sheriff's Office Enforcement Division unceasingly provide a vital public service. Now therefore, the Marion County Board of Commissioners, in gratitude for the dedicated public service and sacrifice of law enforcement, do hereby proclaim the week of May 11th through the 17th, 2025 as National Police Week in Marion County, dated in Salem, Oregon, the 7th day of May, 2025. And now everybody gets to come forward. And would some of you come up on the stage here so we can get you into a group photo, please? Don't all jump at once. Sheriff, they need an order.
Is the sheriff there somewhere?
He's hiding in the corner back there. Be a leader. Come on, let's go.
Somebody can join me.
Let's not put that on the record.
I'm not responsible.
How are you? Come on.
Alex, which commissioner? Will he sit in the middle? Somebody holds his toy. Come on.
Come on, scoot up, you guys.
You're still in uniform, man.
We gotta make sure
Here. Technically yours. Yours. Sorry. Okay.
You guys ready?
Yep.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Are you good?
Was it?
I'm good.
Landers, you want one of your own?
First thing.
In the middle? Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Great.
Good.
Nick, are you gonna have these guys come out and do chalk art as soon as it's over? It'll move pretty quick once we're done with the next one. Yeah. Right? Yeah, they're all, yeah, I can do coordinating, but you can go out there now.
5 or 6 of them.
Okay.
We should have spread these
Go
out.
tell them to go. Okay. Yes. All right. Now we're going to proclaim the week of May 6th through the 12th as Nurses Appreciation Week in Marion County for the jail. Hi. How are you? Good.
Good morning. Jacob Ramsey with the Marion County Sheriff's Office. I think I have a slide. It's not so much of a slideshow. Good morning, everybody. We got to hear some wonderful things already about the nurses in Marion County. I'm here today to specifically recognize the nurses that work in Marion County Jail. They often sometimes go unnoticed during this week, and I just wanted to make sure that I had an opportunity to come in and talk about the wonderful things that they do. I have with me today Cindy Gage. I told her that I would try to do most of the talking. We don't let her out of the jail very often.
You can come out when you want to, right? It's not like a permission granted situation. Yeah.
So Cindy has been with the Sheriff's Office for 21 years.
Wow.
So she's a registered nurse. I can't even imagine to begin to talk about the things that Cindy has seen over her career inside the facility, the amount of lives that she's saved, that she's helped to make a better person, more healthier when they enter our community. So the service that her and her team provides is so important, and I just want to make sure that they are recognized for that. I've seen, just within this last year, I had the privilege of seeing 2 of our nurses perform life-saving steps on somebody that had overdosed in our transport hub, and watching them work. These were both pretty new nurses, new to this type of an emergency. It was like watching two professionals save this person's life, and it was amazing to see. And I'm honored to be a part of their team. So I wanted to keep it short today. I know it's been a long morning. And I don't know, maybe next year we can collaborate with the health department so we're not doing 2 different proclamations.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure that we recognize the nurses there in the jail for the important things that they do. I appreciate you giving me this opportunity. Cindy, if you had anything that you wanted to say, I want to make sure that you have the opportunity. But
She already shook her head.
thank you for your years of service and everything you've done for all of your patients in the jail. It is appreciated by your community and everybody.
Thanks for the support. Commander, I appreciate that you advocated to be separate today. Yeah, it is a long morning of proclamations, but what we don't do well in government is really market the great people that do the work on behalf of our neighbors. We try to do it as a commission in our board sessions and any time we're in the community. And I know it's awkward for Cindy and probably other employees of the county who don't come up, take the job to be under the limelight. But the reality is, Cindy, people don't even really know that your position exists. When people think about the jail, they think about cops and bars. But the reality truly is that if it wasn't for you, people would be less healthy, people's lives would be lost, and our community would be worse off. And I know that it's probably your intention to be unseen, just like many of your peers who work in the same industry. But I want to say thank you for what you do, and for the commander's words to talk about the fact that whether it was you or either of your peers who saved someone's life last week, they are important too. They're someone's child, brother, father, mother, whatever. Just because they're in jail doesn't mean they're any lesser of a person, and they deserve the same kind of health care that you would get if you were not in jail. And I know it's a very difficult space for you. The commander, the sheriff, and others tell us about the challenges that nurses face in the jail on a regular basis. So thanks for what you do, and if you'll pass on our appreciation to your peers, I'd be grateful.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I know I had the lunch schedule, I think it was tomorrow, there's a lunch.
Well, it's yesterday,
And
last night, and tomorrow.
Yeah, and I've had conflicts and haven't been able to get out there, but I just want to say thank you for the service that you provide and the tours that we take in the jail, and I always appreciate how organized and clean it is, and yet there's a lot of things behind the scenes that you do that we don't know about, and really appreciate your service. 21 years is amazing, and thank you very much for every one of those days that you've shown up and done your work. Appreciate it.
We also know that your clients aren't the healthiest people when they come see you.
Yeah.
So I think, that's something that before I was a commissioner, I didn't really realize the shape that some people show up, folks who have been using drugs for a long time or living on the streets or in really unhealthy situations. And there's only one jail in Marion County. So whenever somebody commits a crime, they show up on your doorstep and you're asked to try to keep those people as safe and healthy as you can. And I just know how hard that is. It's not, the clients you get are not always in the best shape when you see them. So I appreciate how much work you and your team do in really tough situations.
Yeah. All right.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Cameron.
Yeah, move that we approve a proclamation designating the week of May 6th through the 12th, 2025 as Nurses Appreciation Week in Marion County Jail.
And I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second.
Sorry, it sounded like a question.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes. He was just adding on because we wanted it to be
Because
separate.
it doesn't say jail here, and
Yeah.
that's why I added the jail.
I just want to make sure you didn't think like my vote was in question. Like, I'm super supportive of this.
Great, I would love it if you read the proclamation.
Okay, in a matter proclaiming May 6th through the 12th, 2025 as Nurses Appreciation Week in Marion County Jail, proclamation. This matter came before Marion County Board of Commissioners at its regularly scheduled public meeting on Wednesday, May 7th, to proclaim the week of May 6th through the 12th as Nurses Appreciation Week. Whereas the nurses of the Institution Division of Marion County Sheriff's Office play an essential role in safeguarding the rights of the citizens and residents of Marion County, and
Whereas it is important that all citizens, residents understand the duties, responsibilities, hazards, and dedication of the nurses who work inside the Marion County Jail. And whereas all healthcare professionals of the Institutions Division of the Marion County Sheriff's Office unceasingly provide a vital public service and maintain the highest standards of health services.
Now therefore, the Marion County Board of Commissioners, in gratitude for the dedicated public service and professionalism, do hereby proclaim the week of May 6th through the 12th as Nurses Appreciation Week in Marion County Institutions, dated at Salem, Oregon, the 7th day of May 2025.
All right.
And the last awkward thing you have to do is come take a picture with us.
non-negotiable.
Yeah.
I saw you two walking over to Starbucks this morning.
We didn't get Starbucks.
Or maybe
We had coffee. together.
whatever, maybe I saw you walking with someone on the street. Oh, you parked far away, so you're walking in.
I'll jump this.
All right. Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
3, 2,
Thank you. Are you gonna retire saying hobo?
So many
Thank you, Sammy.
Bill, you can get a chair now.
I'm doing sidewalk.
Relegate the newspaper reporter to 4.
Yes. I did not know we have 4 proclamations. Actually,
Yes.
I missed that memo. So we're just gonna have to get through these next few things very quickly.
What's that?
We're supposed to be outside doing media art for Mental Health Day.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, you do. You're playing home.
I didn't know.
Come on, so we can get going. All right. Colin, would you please read the consent calendar?
Absolutely, Madam Chair. I move that we adopt the consent agenda under Business Services, approve the public improvement agreement with Train Oregon in the amount of $319,000 for the installation of HVAC control equipment at the Marion County Courthouse through June 30th, 2026. Under Health and Human Services, approve the incoming funds grant agreement with Western Oregon University for the Future Ready Oregon Bilingual Behavioral Health Initiative Subaward in the amount of $503,793.79 for an earn-to-learn opportunity as a temporary qualified mental health associate to increase access to mental health service delivery through June 30th, 2026. Under the Tax Office, approve an order for the cancellation of 3 uncollectible personal property tax accounts as referenced in Exhibit A, in the total amount of $28,860.05 for tax IDs 125522 Dwayne Hageman and 128699 Lucille A. Lund and 130988 Richard Wagner.
Second motion?
I'll second the motion.
Thanks. I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes. All right, now we'll under first item of action. Tamara's going to talk to us about public improvement agreement with Garland/DBS Inc.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tamara Getch, Director of Business Services, here with Wesley.
Go ahead and introduce yourself, Wesley.
For the record, Wesley Miller, Marion County Construction Project Coordinator.
So today we are here to present a contract for a roof replacement, which Wesley will talk in more detail about. But this is a roof that's for Behavioral Health Crisis Center that is in the middle of a remodel. This is something that is changed from the original construction plan. So this is an addition, and it's coming before you so that as the place is in disarray right now in the remodel, that we can do the improvements needed so we don't disrupt any services that happen at the Behavioral Health Crisis Center once it is open for operations. This contract is for $471,004 and will help to preserve the services that are there and ensure that we have a warranty of at least 30 years. Wesley, can you talk about the details?
Yeah, as part of the project, once we got into things, we evaluated a little bit more and realized we're a little bit into the project, and there was some leaks and things, and we're getting ready to do all new finishes inside the building, and it only made sense to go ahead and address the roof now. Took the steps, got with Garland Group, and got 3 bids. On this one, we got 4 bids, and McDonald Weddle was the lowest. They're relatively local. They're just up north, contractor. They've done work with us on some other projects, specifically the old health building and the detention center, juvenile detention center. So they'll be getting started here in a few weeks, and like Tamara said, 30-year warranty on this roof, and it only made sense to move forward with this now instead of once we get in the building. So no, it does not push out the completion date. It will fall within the estimated move-in time of no later than December of this year.
Great, Commissioners, do you have any questions?
Do not.
Nope.
Then I will take a motion.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I'll move that we approve public improvement agreement with Garland DBS Inc. in the amount of $471,004 for the Marion County Health and Human.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, $4 for the Marion County Health and Human Services Behavioral Health Crisis Center roof replacement through December 30th, 2025.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
All right, Austin's going to come up and we're going to consider whether to accept or deny an appeal of the hearings officer's decision denying conditional use.
By
Sorry.
Austin, you mean Brandon.
Well, Austin was here.
He's here.
No, he wasn't. I guess Max is here. Okay, Brandon.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
For the record, Brandon Wright, Marion County Planning Director. The item before you today is to consider whether to accept the appeal of the hearings officer's decision denying conditional use 2428 Marvin Kloppenstein. The conditional use was for a commercial use in conjunction with farm use to operate a mulching service on a 9-acre parcel in the exclusive farm use zone located at 5711 Brook Lake Road Northeast. The planning director approved the application, which was subsequently appealed. On January 30th, the hearings officer held a hearing with an open record period and issued a decision on March 28th denying the request. Applicants appealed the hearings officer's decision. Staff reviewed the information submitted with the appeal and determined that there is no new evidence or new argument. If the board accepted the appeal, it may be possible there are conditions of approval that could be applied to grant the request. However, the applicant provided no recommended conditions with their appeal. Staff recommends the board not accept the appeal. And I'm available for any questions or to discuss this case further.
Okay, commissioners?
Yeah, Madam Chair, just have a question, Brandon. It says that there was additional information indicating potential impacts to nearby farming activities. What was that additional information that was presented?
The hearings officer found that there was a potential for disease vectors to spread from this mulching operation to other farming operations or other trees in the area. Like, could spread to nurseries if there's diseased trees that they're processing and mulching on the property.
Are there any nurseries close to this property?
Well, the mulch is given away free to farmers throughout the community and throughout the state. And so if the mulch contains any items that are diseased, they could spread anywhere.
Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, but who controls that? Department of Agriculture?
They would if the Department of Ag considers this to be a essential farming practice. If they don't recognize this as a farming practice, then they may not. As a conditional use, one of the criteria are to look at the impacts to neighboring properties, potential impacts to the farming area.
I guess I didn't see that, the disease thing. I guess maybe I missed that someplace. I did see that they cited a case in, or she cited a case in Multnomah County. And I'm curious if that, I'm thinking of Multnomah County, and if that particular mulching activity in Multnomah County, how close that was to, was it even close to, houses or whatever. That was the first one, and then the fourth one, item, so they met 2 and 3, but 4 they didn't meet, according to the hearings officer, was noise. And EFU land, this is EFU zone, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So I could go out on my EFU land tomorrow with a chainsaw and start cutting away, and there's no restrictions for that,
That's correct.
right?
If it's not a business, that's correct.
Right,
No.
as long as there's no commercial activity on my EFU land, I could go to town and do whatever I wanted with my own material. If it's not commercial in nature.
Correct.
Well,
This looks like there was code enforcement issues with this property?
Yes, I believe there were complaints about noise.
But was there code enforcement act, just because there was complaints, was there any findings?
It says Mr. Goffin testified about events leading up to the citation issued to the applicant arising out of his use of the property. So that suggests to me that code enforcement actually issued a citation.
I believe they did.
Then I'm not super interested in. If code enforcement's involved, I don't want to take a case. There is active code enforcement
Is there an active code enforcement case?
believe so. I don't think it's been resolved. This approval and the conditions that could be placed on it could resolve the code enforcement. When there's an active code enforcement, sometimes they come in and they apply to say, well, we want to do it this way with these conditions, and this could resolve that.
So is the code enforcement related to the mulching activity? Do we know?
I think it's related to the use of the property and possibly the noise. Just the truck, the traffics, and the use of the property and the noise is what I believe.
I mean, I don't feel great about moving forward with a case that there's code enforcement action on. Like that, I feel like that needs to get resolved before like if someone's being enforced on because they're violating our code, then
But are they violating our code because they didn't apply for a conditional use permit?
Well, I don't know. I would want to know more about that. I don't want to wave a magic wand. I want somebody to follow the law first.
If for instance, neighbors complain about noise, and then there's an application a property owner can make to say, well, this use is allowed in the zone, but then there's still issues to work out with, well, how much noise can you have associated with this use? How do you mitigate the noise? And so sometimes with the land use case, we put conditions on there that would limit or modify that noise in some way to minimize it. And in that case, that could resolve the code enforcement. I'm not familiar with all of the code enforcement that was involved in this. It looks like it was at least based on the use, which you could apply for to resolve that code enforcement if the use of the land gets approved. And if there's noise too, then there's further action we'd have to take. The hearings officer found that there was not adequate evidence at the time that noise could be resolved. But that doesn't mean that if the board took this appeal, that there could be additional conditions or something placed on that to resolve the concerns for the neighbors about noise.
Well, I certainly want to know more about the code enforcement issue to see if it's related to this conditional use. Thanks, Cody.
Apologies, it's not a space for public comment at this point, but we can listen to our attorney.
Yeah. Thank you, Commissioners. For the record, Cody Walterman, Senior Assistant Legal Counsel. So I believe there was an underlying code violation. I wasn't involved with that. I believe the other attorney in our office was. From my recollection, I believe there was a stipulated judgment reached with the code piece. I think we're talking about two different issues, though, regarding the noise criteria that the hearing officer found and the code enforcement issue. I believe you already touched on it, that the potential code violations could potentially be resolved based on the application if the conditional use permit is granted. I think that was a consideration that was considered by the HO, but the noise complaints were a separate issue that the HO found that the applicants didn't provide sufficient evidence for.
All right, say that again. Separate issues. So what were the two issues?
You were just speaking about the code enforcement issue. I believe they reached a stipulated judgment regarding the code issue.
That has nothing to do with noise.
I didn't participate in the underlining one, but I know from the hearing officer's decision, the noise issue was basically the impacts to the surrounding properties. I believe some of the neighbors testified that it sounded like a jet engine going off, and that the noise pollution reached different levels. I believe the applicant in their notice of appeal said that they could, if the board decided to accept, they could provide additional evidence on that point to hopefully meet the criteria satisfaction, or to satisfy the criteria that the HO found it wasn't.
Yeah, Madam Chair, our planning first approved this, then it was appealed. And so it sounds like there's more information that I'd like to have before I made a decision on this, at least. So I would want to make a recommendation that we accept the appeal to hold a hearing on the matter to be determined at a date to be determined.
I would support that.
I'll second the motion, but I do have something further to say.
Okay. I have a motion and a second.
So this is in the hearings officer's decision. Marion County Code Enforcement Officer Chad Goffin testified at the hearing. Mr. Goffin testified that he wanted to testify after hearing testimony presented at the hearing. Mr. Goffin testified about his belief that Mr. Kloffenstein did not respond to his correspondence. And then later on, it said that, the applicant's request that the testimony of Mr. Goffin be struck from the record as prejudicial to the applicant's rights to a fair and impartial hearing. I'll just put it on the record that Mr. Goffin is a very fair and impartial person. And so, I think that his testimony and kind of his experience of what's been going on with that property is absolutely relevant to its use, and I would like him to be present at that hearing.
Okay. Great. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes.
Thank you.
So we will see you at a hearing in the future. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Cody. Thank you all. Yep. All right, and finally on our agenda today, we're going to hear from Max regarding an order accepting 22 existing roads as identified in Exhibit A into the Marion County road system.
Good morning,
Hello, sir.
Commissioners. Good morning. Sorry to interrupt you. Let's see if I can get my presentation up here real quick. There we are. Wonderful. All right, for the record, my name is Max Hepburn. I am the Land Development Engineering and Permit Supervisor with Marion County Public Works. I want to start off by saying it is an honor to be here on this topic, and I'm really excited to be able to present this board order for your consideration. It has been years in the making that we've been having this conversation, and I'm really happy that we're at this point. So I want to start off by identifying two terms that are very critical to this conversation for the audience at home and folks in the room: county road and local access road. Up on the screen, you've got the definitions in ORS. The shorthand version is a county road is a road that the county has accepted for maintenance, and a local access road are those roads that the county has not accepted and therefore has specific limitations on what we can assist property owners with, and therefore the maintenance responsibility tends to fall to those abutting property owners. Quick history. So back in 2023, I started digging through our records and identified about a dozen roads that private developers had created over the years that we had not yet accepted. I brought that to the board along with our director and our county engineer, and you gave us the direction to evaluate what other roads we could adopt into our system and what we can do to help those property owners, knowing how many calls we get about these local access roads every year due to the fact that we have restrictions on what we can assist in maintenance of. Through that research, I found that the last time we accepted a road as into our road system was in 2008. So it has been quite a while. I think that's 17 years. When we brought that list of private developed roads, you gave us direction to look at a 10-year plan and to find a way to accept those some additional roads to alleviate that cost burden to those property owners. Roughly a year later, we brought that to you, and you gave us direction to move forward with Phase 1. And Phase 1 consisted of 35 roads. And you'll see at the bottom there, we have today in this board order 22 of those 35 roads for your consideration for acceptance. The additional roads have a little bit of additional research that needs to go into them, and we have a work session to kind of discuss some of the complications next week with that to move forward on Phase 1B, if you will. So on the screen, you have the 22 listed roads, and I'm going to show aerials of each of them, so I'm not going to read them all right now, but these are all 22 of those roads, so 12 privately developed and 10 additional roads as part of that 10-year plan. So we'll start with Great Plains Drive. There is a small segment that was developed later on in the subdivisions both to the north and the south that connects it into Satter that we'll be accepting under this board order. Helton Way, part of a subdivision. Julia Lane, another subdivision. Blackhawk Court, yet another subdivision. And then we have 2 roads in this area in East Salem. We have Fontana and Whispering Pines Loop, Snoopy Lane and Linus Court, which is just north of Monroe there, Bronco Drive, Felicity Court, a 80-foot segment of Elma that now connects, I think it's Monroe and Hudson, that was developed a couple years ago. A segment of Berry Lane, which is a realignment of, Winter Hills or Winters Creek Road into the intersection with 214. It's so new that actually we don't have an aerial of it, but Google Earth does. And now we get into the roads that are that are part of that 10-year plan. Adams Lane, Eider Street, Maple Street, and Pine Street, Fenmere Way, Riddell Drive, Terrence Lane, Barbara Way, and a segment at Edith Street. Draper Street, and that's it. And so I'm here to answer any questions that you might have before moving forward.
Thank you, Max. I don't have any questions. I appreciate that you came today with this presentation because I think it's somewhat confusing for the public when we just make a motion and say, oh, we're going to do all this with roads. And while I still think it's probably a little confusing if people don't have the opportunity to talk to you the way we have, I think it still matters to create the visual and the information. So thanks for your time today.
Appreciate you getting here.
Yeah.
Long road, been a long road to get here.
A long road?
Been a long road.
Some of them are short.
Short. It's been
a long road
a
getting
long
here.
road to get
Okay,
these short
guys.
roads on the agenda.
That's some public works humor. Good job.
Yeah, well done. Matt
And
Lawyer's
Matt-
so proud of you both.
Yeah, and I'm
He
sure
would be funnier than us.
I do want to say to Max, thank you for all the work you've been putting in to get this to this point. I know it's been a heavy lift, so thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I would take a motion, please.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve an order accepting 22 existing roads as identified in Exhibit A into the Marion County Road System in accordance with the Oregon Revised Statute 368.016.
I'll second the motion.
A motion in a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes. On to the next big project, Max.
Oh, there's plenty more.
I know, sir.
Yeah.
I know you have a lot going on over there. We appreciate your work.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Max. Good job.
Commissioners, is there anything else for the record? Okay.
We got our sewer bill signed
Yeah, signed by
Monday.
the governor. Big deal.
Woo-woo. Moving ahead.
Dig dirt. I don't know.
Dig the dirt.
I don't know what the construction schedule is. We'll hopefully get an update on that, but we got it done in time that
Congratulations.
they can meet
Yeah,
their
big
deadline to start construction. Actually,
Thanks for all
earlier.
your work over there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I know, it's what we do, but your lead did, and I appreciate
Yeah,
it, so
yeah, yeah.
thank you.
We just got one more that we gotta put a stop to tomorrow morning.
You can do it.
You can do
I
it.
believe in you. Godspeed.
We got some people that are gonna come and testify.
Good.
Some of the small guys that could be hurt by this bill, so.
That's
it's
great.
all lined up.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you all. We're adjourned. Have a great day.
See you, Max.